Hello and welcome to Real Truth TV. This video might go up on my Clever Sausage channel, probably will. Yeah, I'm the Couch Kumara, Clever Sausage, and today I am presenting a very short video on what I, through my own personal research, have uncovered in regard to Jesus the Christ. Okay, I was looking at Tacitus, the Roman historian's book, or the translation of his writings, book 1543 to 51, page 168, paragraph 44 of the Annals, A-N-N-A-L-S. I think it's around 43 to 45 AD, I'm not really sure. That's what it says at the top of the page, 43-45. And he said he knew of the trial and execution of one Christus, who suffered the extreme penalty during the reign of Tiberius at the hands of one of his procurators, Pontius Pilatus. If I remember rightly, he actually was born after the period of Christ, but he knew of the events or the records of his procurator Pontius Pilate doing that. But then again, thinking on that one, if he was his procurator, Pontius Pilatus, then he might have been in that area. I think maybe, yeah, it's the latter. He knew of it. You know, he was born like so many years after Christ, right? I'd rather look at Tacitus than Josephus, whose records are claimed to have been tampered with or added to, or his writing style changes rapidly. This hints at another writer writing and adding content, according to top theologian Bart D. Ehrman, top theologian with relevant qualifications which make him an expert in his particular field. Okay, second possible proof: if the ancient Assyrian Aramaic, or the Aramaic, preserved manuscripts translated by Vic Alexander. This is a video here, this picture here. Okay, he's a native-born Mesopotamian, speaks Aramaic, translator, filmmaker. Okay, are authentic and were given to the original Church of the East in Urhai, Edessa, now modern Turkey, by Thomas the disciple who founded that church. He gave it to the high priest who hid them, therefore preserving them for over 2,000 years, which also had been attested by head patriarch of that church in 1957, Mar Shimon. If this is all true, okay, yeah, well, it'll prove that this guy Thomas, this disciple, and Thaddeus or Jude existed, okay, and this guy Christ, or the Christus, existed. Okay, so I'd say the third person attesting to these original manuscripts being preserved, you know, for 2,000 years, not being tampered with and all that sort of stuff, would be Andrew Gabriel Roth at his website, AramaicsScriptures.com. I'm recalling off the top of my head. He's either a Messianic Jew or a Christian Jew. Yeah, he translated the Syriac, okay, from the ancient Eastern Syriac, Peshitta, rather than the Western Peshito, avoiding the Greek and the Latin, all that sort of stuff. Okay, anyway, so we're going to concentrate on this guy, the story of Adam and Eve. Whoever wrote this made a mistake, obviously. It's supposed to be Eve, not even. Okay, and he gives a bit of a spiel on it. Okay, this site's down, been down for a while, but I've managed to, well, not put it back up because I can't, but I've found the original content.
Hello, this is Vic Alexander. I've been translating the scriptures for 15 years. I've already completed the New Testament and published it. And now I'm doing the Old Testament commentaries. So today I'm going to start with the book of Genesis. And I'm going to pick on one concept only, and that is the creation of Adam and Eve. So I'm going to read from the Saprat Brita, which means the scripture or scroll of creation, which is how we call Genesis. It's also how modern Jews today call the first book of Moses. They call it Brashit. So I begin from Bepalion Elab, chapter 1, verse 1. Brashit bara alaha yet shmaya yet ara. Bared alaha is also means son of God. And
he's basically speaking in a modern vernacular of Aramaic, because the ancient Aramaic or Syrian Aramaic, Esherit, it's a dead language. Nobody reads it anymore, whatever. It's only liturgy, right, in the Mass in Syria. But apparently there's some old people that still speak that old language, because that's their first language, but they can't translate it for you into English. So they had to make a modern vernacular. Okay, so that's what he's reading. Like someone says, oh, he's reading from the Peshitta, the Syriac. No, he's not. He's translated from the Syriac. No, he hasn't. Because if you've ever read his website, he said he translated from the Syriac. He was using the Western Peshitta, but a priest of that original church apparently says what he's doing. And he says, I just finished doing the Syriac, translating from the Syriac into English or whatever. He says, well, why'd you do that for? He says, well, you're actually wrong. It's all wrong. So he says, oh geez, I have to go do it again. You know? He says, it's all wrong because it originally came from the Assyrian, Assyrian Aramaic, or Asherit. Right? So what these Mesopotamians did, right? Abraham lived in Mesopotamia, Ur of Chaldea, right? He was born there, so they were residing there. So foreigners in a strange country, they adapt the culture, the language, customs, all that sort of stuff, right? So they've mixed what they already had, Aramaic, with the Assyrian, right? With the Asherit, and they termed it Assyrian Aramaic when it's really just Aramaic. Okay? There's no Assyrian Aramaic, there's just Assyrian. Okay? So this is what this guy's speaking, some sort of dialect from there, right? Okay, so he goes on and on about the story of Adam and Eve from the ancient Aramaic scriptures. He attests on his website. That's now down, been down for a while, but I pulled it up. I found the information. Yeah, of its originality. Okay, so that's a second proof, if he's not full of crap, right? I found a couple of discrepancies, like, as I said, it came from the Assyrians originally, not the Chaldeans or anyone like that, or Abraham. It came from the Assyrians. Go ask an Assyrian, a native born Assyrian, which I did. I came across a couple of them like that. Yeah, and I'll tell you, that's where it came from. That's why they call it Assyrian Aramaic, or Asherit, right? Lishana Artika, Cyprea, whatever this guy's talking about. Okay, so if this guy's like talking crap through a hole in his bum, but which I've corresponded with him quite a bit, he's a nice old fella, and I tried to catch him out a few times, but no like that. Very nice old guy. Yeah, so there's a second possibility, or a third possibility, proof, right? Here, the AramaicScriptures.com, translated the Syriac Syriac Peshitta, Eastern Syriac Peshitta, translated by Andrew Gabriel Roth. You maybe have heard of that guy. I think he's a Messianic Jew, or a Christian Jew. Yeah, I think he's more Messianic. And his website here, I've covered this before, right? And he says, okay, here's the, down here, Ma Ishai Shimon, Catholicos Patriarch of the East, right? It's an Apostolic Orthodox Catholic Church of the East. Catholicos means universal, right? Nothing to do with the Roman Catholics. They broke away from them, right? Were independent, didn't want anything to do with them apparently. They were attached to them for a while there in the Middle East. Then these guys broke away. Apparently this guy was assassinated in like 1975 or something. Don't know why. But yeah, here he says, with reference to the originality of the Peshitta text that this Andrew Gabriel Roth is translated from, as the Patriarch and head of the Holy Apostolic and Catholic Church of the East, we wish to state that the Church of the East received the scriptures from the hands of the blessed apostles themselves in the Aramaic original, the language spoken by our Lord Jesus Christ himself, and that the Peshitta is the text of the Church of the East, which has come down from the biblical times without change or revision. There you go, Ma Isha Shimon. Okay, so this guy here, he's saying he's translated the original manuscripts, preserved manuscripts of that same Church of the East, right? But the high priest said, well, the Syriac is wrong, the Asherit is correct. Okay, so that's two people, well, actually three people attesting to it being the original manuscripts. Okay, you have to establish the claim facts as facts. You have to prove that it's genuine, etc., etc. Yeah, or it has to prove itself evident, right? Okay, it has to be proven infallible or irrefutable. So atheists out there want to debunk it. They can and they will. They will because they can, but they can never deny it if it proves itself fact, infallible or irrefutable. Yeah. Yeah, he's a books here and all sorts of stuff. And then Andrew Gabriel Roth, the translator and owner of this website, actually says something down here. The English transliteration you are reading here is rendered straight from the Eastern Aramaic New Testament manuscripts. No Greek or Latin sources have been used, and no Western Peshitta readings have been used. This English transliteration is as literal and faithful to the Aramaic source text as could possibly be made, while still being readable, understandable in the English language. Some Aramaic idioms, blah blah blah. Okay, goes on about that. There's something around here somewhere where he says where it's actually come from. Okay, here we go. Okay, go up here. Yeah, I've covered this before. The Khabouris Codex, this is what he's translating from. One of many. The Khabouris Codex manuscript you can read and study here on this website via the study tool is thus most likely only a third generational copy. Yeah, what's this up here? Go up here a bit further. Okay, the text. The Aramaic text used to translate here at the AramaicScriptures.com is from Eastern Aramaic manuscripts such as the Khabouris manuscript, pictured above. Okay, up here. Yeah, pictured above. Oh, jeez, where am I? Yeah, it being a hand-written Eastern Aramaic New Testament, said to have been scribed in the ancient city of Nineveh. That's where this Old Testament, Bereshit, whatever he's translating, Genesis into English, was compiled in, around 800 BCE in Ur, Edessa, right? Okay. The Aramaic text used to translate here at the AramaicScriptures.com is from Eastern Aramaic manuscripts, such as the Khabouris manuscript, pictured above, as you saw. It being a handwritten Eastern Aramaic New Testament said to have been scribed in the ancient city of Nineveh, and which is thought to have taken place sometime between 900 to 1000 AD. That's the New Testament. Vic Alexander was saying the Old was compiled in Ur, Edessa, around 800 BCE, and said to have been officially certified by a bishop of the Holy Apostolic Catholic Church of the East as being a faithful copy of a much older Eastern Aramaic New Testament manuscript, likely scribed during the mid-5th century, which in turn likely was itself a faithful copy of the original Aramaic New Testament scriptures, which was personally handed to the Church of the East by the apostles themselves in the ancient city of Edessa in the 1st century. The Khabouris Codex manuscript you can read and study here on this website via the study tool is thus most likely only a third generational copy of the word of Allah, or God, in the Aramaic language, which was given to the Church of the East from the very apostles of Mashiach, the Messiah, in the language in which Yeshua, he's using the Syriac, he's put the Hebrew there, Yeshua. In the Assyrian Aramaic, it's Isho, Y-S-H-O, Isho. or he might spell it Eoshoa, Eosha, equivalent English, Joshua. And his disciples spoke and wrote and proclaimed the hopeful message of God's redemption of mankind. The earliest such manuscript witness we have some knowledge of for the Aramaic New Testament is from as early as the year 78 AD, which is spoken about in J.S. Assamani's famous Bibliotheca, where it states, at Edessa was a written gospel, ancient but still legible. In other words, it's still readable. Not a single iota was erased. That's like tittle or mark, and it could be more easily be read than many modern books, but by reason of its great age, the first 10 leaves have been lost. At the end was the following subscription. This sacred book was finished on Wednesday, the 18th day of the first month, Konun, December, in the year 389 of the Greeks, i.e. 78 AD, by the hand of the apostle Archaeus, a fellow labourer of Maris. Ma means Lord or Master, and a disciple of the apostle Adaeus, whom we entreat to pray for us. Amen. The manuscript is said to have been seen in Baghdad, near the river Tigris, on an ancient church of the east altar. Okay, and it goes on about a number of Eastern Peshitta manuscripts, blah blah blah. Okay, the manuscripts used for the actual translation are various 5th, 6th century manuscripts you can read on. St. Catherine's Monastery. Is that like St. Catherine who did the Dolores Passion? And that's what that Passion of the Christ was based on, her supposed vision. And he's listed some more here. It should be pointed out that the Aramaic language is an older sister language of the Hebrew, a Semitic language of the Middle Eastern region of the world, which is very close to it in its construction, alphabet, and vocabulary. Yeah, apparently Hebrew is a derivative from that. Okay, and apparently, like, God spoke Aramaic and He spoke it to the people at the Tower of Babel and all that sort of stuff. So these guys claim. Okay, got heaps more information there. Look at it yourself. Okay, so he says he's attesting here, testifying that unlike most of the other English translations of the Aramaic scriptures, Andrew Gabriel Roth decided to make a very literal and faithful rendering into the English language, which is not only a translation of the Aramaic words into English words, or Syriac in this case, which mean the same thing, but also to give the actual Aramaic words themselves as they read in the Aramaic language in English letters, which is called transliterating. Blah blah blah, goes on like that. It's rendered straight from the Eastern Aramaic New Testament manuscripts. No Greek or Latin sources have been used, no Western Peshitta. Okay. So what this guy's done to help those who are interested in learning Syriac, okay, in its chapters, let's have an example there. Give me an example. He's added the Syriac font, okay, and some words here, right, from Syriac into English to help you along there. Okay, so that's the first and the second possible proofs. Again, you got this guy on YouTube. Let's see if I can find him. Dutch Uncle John, who claims that, oh, there we go, your Dutch uncle's exegesis in Genesis 1:1, rather than go through that video.
You get the picture. Oh, it's the
yeah. He just basically goes on about the. See if we can see it here. Jump. Goes on about the pictographs. Get there.
Down at the bottom. Okay, so the letter Hey is.
I think it's this one.
H is the sound H. It's the 5th letter. Its gematria is 5.
So either that one or the second one here, where he spells it out. I can't really remember, but he shows like the pictograph that they used to use, the pictograph.
In Genesis 1:1, we had pointed out that there are 7 words and 28 letters. Okay, that's not a surprise. There they are. 28 is, of course, divisible by 7. There's only one more. There's only.
Goes on about the characters, and the pictograph characters, and what they mean. It's supposed to be a prophecy of Christ dying by his own hand on the cross, written in the pictographs in Genesis, right underneath everything. A prophecy, I guess, that supposedly happened 4,000 to 5,000 years later, where Christ dies on the cross and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so that's the third one. That's a possible third one, but yeah, I'm looking at two sides of the coin, right? Okay, to be fair, okay, because atheists will argue, oh yeah, but you must prove that these records claims, are established facts, that the evidence is evident, it proves itself and are 100% infallible, irrefutable. Could possibly blow atheism off the planet. Yeah, you'd have to do your own research and stuff. Okay, but there's three possibilities. Okay, because as I said, atheists out there are going, oh yeah, but make some excuse, they'll debunk it. Yes, you have to go out there and do your own research like I did and prove everything is, all the claims as established facts, that the evidence is actually evident, or it proves itself, and then it's all 100% infallible, irrefutable. So yeah, of course the atheists can debunk it, which they will, but they can never deny it if it proves to be 100% infallible or irrefutable. Yeah, probably going to get a lot of people coming at me, it's just like an idea, what I found, so yeah, give a man a break. Yeah, so yeah, as I said, if it's all true, if it's all like, you're not pulling the wool over your eyes, that's why you've got to go out there and prove it, with what I've given you. Yeah, because as I see, there are some discrepancies I've had, like the originality of it, right? The people saying it comes from the Hebrews and all that sort of stuff when it didn't, because they're like, the Chaldeans, what's his name, Abraham, Chaldean, born in Chaldea, comes from the Assyrians. They probably got it from the Sumerians, Babylonians, Akkadians, whatever, before them, apparently who was it first? Sumerians, they weren't Semites. Apparently the Akkadians and the Babylonians were, and then these Mesopotamians, whoever supposed to be Judeans, whatever, supposed to be descendants of these Sumerians and all that, descendants of Abraham, who was a Chaldean, born in Ur of Chaldea, right? And then later on a guy called Eber, the forefather of the Hebrews, and then later on after that a guy called Jacob got his name changed to Israel. After that he had descendants who were then called the Israelites. Okay, there's people out there say, oh, we're Hebrew Israelites. You can't be Hebrew Israelites if they're like three separate tribes, right? They're all in union, but there's three separate tribes or factions, right? I think it's Kings, oh jeez, I can't remember myself, 16:6 or I can't remember, 19:9 or something like that, where the house of Israel teams up with the king of Rezin. He's the Aramaic king to fight to kick the Judeans out of whatever town that was in Genesis and take it over, right? So yeah, obviously there's three different factions there, right? House of Israel, the men of Judah, and the king of the Arameans, Rezin. So you can't be Hebrew Israelite. That's like saying, it's trying to mix oil with water, or diesel with water, or diesel with petrol. It just doesn't jump. Yeah. And then they go around saying, well, we're Hebrew Israelite, ancient Kemet, Jews, but we don't like Jews, all that sort of crap. Yeah. Yeah, so go out there, do your research for yourself, prove it for yourself. Okay, don't take my word for it, go and do your own personal research. Okay, listen to those videos, listen to this guy John over here. There's some comments down the bottom here. Oh well, but he makes mistakes. Yeah, everyone's got it, everyone's a critic. Okay. Some people are for it, others say, oh yeah, he's not right, you know. I guess they're Jews or something like that. I don't know. There's quite a lot of good comments here. Somewhere down here, someone says, oh yeah, no, you're wrong. Yeah, there's always one in the works. Anyway, as I said, go do your own research. Find the truth, because I've also found different material beyond this that totally blows it away. Yeah, you know, I'll save that for another day. Well, I think I've already covered it. It's in my playlist, in my video collection. Yeah, so some comment down here where a guy says, oh no, he's actually wrong. Anyway, so I hope you liked that short video. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Subscribe down below there, and add your comments. Give us a thumbs up. Yeah, there's just so much hocus pocus out there. You know, I do my own personal research and whatever to find my own personal truth. Do the same. Whatever, you know. Okay, I'm out here.